Hello guys, welcome back to my videos. Today I'm going to show you how to make a progress bar in MCreator. Yes, so this progress bar will apply on both the GUI mode element and the overlay mode element. So as you can see here, this is the GUI mode element, which you can make to create menus and crafters and whatever, and overlays you could make and basically an overlay on top of the player's HUD when you just play without any specific menu opening. To make things simple, I'm just gonna do it on overlay. So let's start. So how does our progress bar works? Basically, you have an empty bar, and then after a specific variable increases, the bar itself also increases. So how are we gonna make that? First, before we make any overlays, we're gonna go to variables here and add a new variable. And you choose here the variable type. You need to make it number, because this is how it works, number, and then make it player lifetime persistent, whatever you want. Lifetime is like as long as the player is alive, it will stay the same. If the player dies, it will reset. Player persistent will last forever even if the player died. So here, player lifetime, I'm gonna call this I don't know, energy bar. Wait, caps lock's on. Here, I'm gonna call this energy bar, or just energy, yeah. So here we have this energy variable. I'm gonna set it to default as 100. Yeah, and let's add. I think we should add max energy, because we would need it for we need it actually. We're just gonna make it so this is so that we know how much is the max energy. So when you calculate the overlay, the overlay needs some calculation where it needs the current amount and the max amount, so that we could figure out how to extend the energy. So let me just show you here. So we have energy and max energy, both of them are at 100. Yeah, why did this reset? Okay, when I click it just resets. So amazing. Okay, here 100. Okay, and both of them must be number and player lifetime. Oh wait, the max energy you can just set it to persistent. You don't need it to be lifetime unless you have some special thing where you could temporarily increase the max energy, whatever. I'm just gonna leave it persistent. Anyway, let's do overlay stuff. Or before we do overlay stuff, let's add a procedure to control our energy level. So here, let's do energy control here. Energy control, and now let's do stuff. So right click. When you right click with empty hand here, I'm gonna add this from flow control. I'm gonna add an if statement with an else, and from entity procedures, if you go to data here, is entity sneaking, drag this out. If it is sneaking, if it is sneaking, it will decrease. If I'm not sneaking, it will increase. So how I'm gonna control that? So here, where is it? So in custom variables, you will find, since we create our variable, it will show up here. So set number global energy. Since it is also player lifetime and player persistent, will have this entity parameter to specify which entity to change it. This only applies for the player, even though it says entity here. Okay, so both of them are gonna have entity here like that, and let's add an addition for these and change one of them to minus. So sneaking will decrease and not sneaking will increase. So let's increase it by a factor of 10, like here 10. I'm gonna copy paste that, decrease and increase by 10, and to increment it properly, I'm gonna drag this out, get number energy. Here we go, copy paste this, and boom. Well, now we have our control. We can control our energy now. So we just save this, and now let's actually start making the overlay. So let's see the overlay. This is gonna be energy bar. Here, now we have this. It's showing it shows a preview of the player side. So what do we do here? This would require a bit of code. I mean, there are multiple ways to make a progress bar. I mean, you could do this through this sprite editor, which not really a good idea. Or you could do this. I have a like add image, and we could add like two things: the background progress bar and the foreground progress bar. So I'm gonna go get a texture first because it needs a texture here. Let me go grab a texture. See, yeah, it must be a screen overlay texture, GUI. So here I have imported two textures. So you need two progress bars. The one that's empty, this is called empty bar 0, and there is this a filled version. I have like call it empty bar 20. Just ignore the name. So let's do this. So how I'm gonna make this? So you just do one small thing. So let's, for example, add this at the like top or bottom left corner. Okay, let's do that. So here you choose the empty one first and anchor it to the whatever place you want. So if you wanted to put in the top right corner, you choose here top right. If you want to be at the bottom center, put bottom center. Here I'm gonna do this bottom left here. So, I'm gonna leave it at bottom center. I'm gonna add it on top of the existing Minecraft HUD. So here I'm gonna do this and put this here. First, let me add snapping so that it's like aligned properly. So here, since the anchoring is bottom center, it will show up this way. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna add some space because like there are hearts and all that stuff in survival mode. And okay, now what next? What's next? Just add another image. Put this as empty bar 20 or whatever you call your progress bar. And I'm gonna put this exactly on top of the old one. Yeah, I'm going to use Java code for this. So let's do this. It's not really that complex. It's really not that difficult. Let me just show you how. So let me save this. Once you save this, you'll have an overlay, like basically a useless overlay that does nothing, with like two images on top of each other. So how are you going to change the stuff inside? So first of all, you see this lock button. You click on that and press the lock unlock button, and then you'll see there is like a small pink tag on top here, and it has a lock icon. It's not visible like from this distance, but yeah. So when I open this will show up. Just Java code, don't be afraid. This is all we need to touch, these two lines. So when we place our empty bar texture, this is the empty one, and this is the filled one, because you can see from the name. So I remember I called the empty one empty bar 0, and the filled one is empty bar 20. Anyway, how do we get the energy bar number, the value from before, and then apply this on the filled bar so that it crops in and out? How do we do that? Okay, in order to add the energy bar, first you have to put a space here, like a small gap here, and then what you type over here is type in int. Int means integer, it means number. There are two kinds of number encoding. So like there's integer int and double. Double means you can put decimal points. Int means integer, where you can only put whole numbers. I'm gonna put double here. So double, let's call this energy. For now we're gonna leave it empty like this, and you type in semicolon to end the line, and then double max energy. Here, max energy. You should not put space for the names of the variables. So we have two variables now, empty variables, nothing inside. And how do we pass in the energy and max energy variables from before? How do you pass it in here? So what are you going to do? There's an easy cheat way to do it. So you go to energy control here, or any procedure basically, and then you basically just go to generated code viewer. As you can see, this is the generated code viewer, which shows how the procedure is in code. So if I remove this, nothing is inside. If I put this back, like stuff gets added. This is how basically it works. So like if you, let me find it, hold on. So this section, see, if I remove this, a specific code disappears. If I add this, and this section basically gets removed and added. So how do we get the variables? So as you can see here, let's for example, let's do just energy. So what you're gonna do is just get the entity, get data, and basically this entire section, this specific one, you just copy this from the equal sign all the way to energy. Just copy this, and then also, like, this last part, it depends on the variable name you set earlier in the global variables. So let's go back to the overlay, and energy here, just type in equal and then paste. Now we have our energy here. How do we get the max energy? Now to do the max energy, just paste this and type in max energy, yeah, or whatever your variable name is called. Just type in exactly as shown in here. So like energy and max energy. So if I press save now, press save. Also I have to press Control W. It will add all the imports because the imports are important. Press Control S and then press Control B to build and see if there are any mistakes. See, nothing happened. Now the console says build successful. So now we have both energy and max energy here. We have it. We have access to it. Now let's calculate. How much we should crop our empty bar 20, the filled texture. So here the range should be like between 0 to 1 in double stuff. So like you do another double variable and type in normalized energy, basically that. What you're gonna do is just energy divided by max energy. That's all. Don't need a lot of stuff. So you create a new variable called normalized energy and just divide the energy by the max energy, and of course you add a semicolon. Okay, what's next? There are a bunch of numbers over here which like you don't know. You don't know what they're supposed to be called, like what each thing does. You don't know. So one of these numbers is used to crop and move the texture. So as you can see here, there are like numbers over here, and they're separated by commas. As you can see, there are comma here, there's a comma, comma over here, comma over here. There are like how many? Like 8 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 numbers. So which one should we change? So in the second texture, the one with the filled progress bar, you go to the 5th one, I think. So this one, as you can see, 51, and take that number. So you delete this one specifically and type in normalized, not in caps, no, normalized energy, exactly as we typed it up here. Like it should highlight now like this, and then multiply it by 51. Now what you do after multiply by 51 is put brackets between these two like this, and then open another bracket over here, type in int and close. What this does is converts the double, which is a decimal number, into an int, which is a whole number. This is what the image requires, so we're gonna pass in this number. So we just press Control W, Control S, Control B. It will make sure all the imports are there. Control save to save, of course, and build will check if everything works. Now this is what should look like. Basically you made an energy, max energy. Basically we just get the global variables and store them in this small variable here, and then we calculate the normalized energy. And what we do is in the filled progress bar, we just multiply the normalized energy by the width. This is supposed to be the width, which is what's the number was already before here. So the number will differ on your texture when you do that. Just sometimes it's gonna be 64, sometimes it's gonna be 51, whatever. So right now, if I test, it should work. Oh wait, yes. I mean, they're not in the same position because I forgot to fix the anchor, because I only did the bottom anchor once, and the other one I did not do. So basically I just did the bottom center anchor for this one but not this one, so this happens. So make sure both of them have the same anchor. So if I right click the air, it will increase. It's going like beyond 100, which if you make it go beyond 100, this happens, like it will like duplicate. If I control right click, it will decrease, and if it decreases to negative, this happens, nothing happens. Yeah, let's fix this issue. Like it's not supposed to be like separated like this. How do we fix this without going back to the editor? I mean, how do we change the anchor as like same thing as before? Because we did this in the editor, we can't change it through the code. I mean, we can, as you can see now here, there's difference. Like as you can see, this is the I think these are the positions. Yes, these first two numbers, this is the first number, this is the second number, are the x and y coordinates at the location of the texture on the screen. So how do we make these match? As you can see, the width is correct, the same thing, but the height is different. So as you can see, here is h minus 52, and here is h divided by 2 plus 68, which is different, completely different. So basically the background empty progress bar is the correct position. This is in the correct position. We give it like the correct anchor, bottom, which is bottom center. So what you're gonna do is copy between these two commas. It's like this. If you don't have this bug, if you made sure to set the anchors before you lock the mod elements, the overlay or GUI, you should be fine. You won't be having to deal with this. So copy this between these two commas and then paste it at the same position, like here, between these two commas. Basically the second number here. Paste this, and now they should be the same. So if I Control W to basically Control W just imports, make sure the imports are correct, and reformats the code. Like if you like, you for example, you just do this, a bunch of incorrect formatting, and then you press Control W, just fix everything together, and say Control S, and then you just Control B to make sure if it builds. Now it builds, it doesn't show any error, nothing popped up. So let's test it out. So as you can see here, now it's correctly placed. Now both of them are on top of each other. So if I Control and right click here, it works perfectly fine. Let me increase with the GUI scale. So as you can see here, we have this progress bar. If I Control click, it will reduce, right click will increase. Boom. Anyway, that's all for this tutorial. Hopefully you guys learned something, and see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.